So, news this afternoon, Gareth Southgate stepping down as England manager. And I think it was bound to happen. It's been to a couple of finals now, not got a result. Semi-finals, quarter-finals, but we can never quite get over that last step. And as good as his record's been, and it is good, I know people want to bring him down, but his record is good in terms of getting us to finals. His record against the top sides is something only like a quarter of wins out of those games. I think it's something like 5 out of 25, 27, something like that. So I think it was inevitable. The stress. I can't imagine the stress it is to beat national team boss. And he's been doing that job for 8 years, and I imagine it does take its toll. Now, the game itself against Spain, well, the best team won. I thought we did well to make it close without actually causing them too many problems. I think of an half chance for Foden in first half. But altogether, they've been best team in the tournament, scored 15 goals, got a really attacking way of playing, and overall you've got to say they fully deserved it. Frustrating for us because I still do believe we've got players in there capable of causing them more problems than we caused them. The main frustration for me all the way through the tournament, and if you've been watching these videos, you know that even before the first ball were kicked, I was itching for us to get Cole Palmer into a starting position in that team. Every time he came off bench, he did something and affected it. And okay, I know some people are useful as super subs, but the way that he plays like a kid in a schoolyard, I'm convinced he'd have played like that from the start of a game because he's got no fear. Overall, yeah, I think we did all right. I thought we contained them for most of the game. And the goal, the first goal especially, I think is a shame because Shaw came into the team at left back. And I think it actually got better of, that Lamine. I think he got better of him. He won all his challenges against him, kept showing him outside. And sometimes it's just some little bits of concentration, and that's where you can't blame the manager. You know, straight after restart, probably the first time in the entire game, Lamine got inside Shaw on his right foot, got inside him, and of course as soon as he got inside, Gay comes across, then Stones has to come across to him, Walker comes across, and it leaves that huge gap on far side, and of course we get punished with that. We equalised, great goal, Palmer again, and from then I thought, right, we've got to take initiative and go to them. We sat off a little bit, and yet the second goal comes when Palmer does go and press. He goes and presses his man, but the problem is nobody else goes with airmen, so it creates a space. It's a little 1-2, then it's straight down the middle of the pitch, pops back out wide, and you're in trouble all ends up, aren't you? Cucurella puts ball in. There we go. So Southgate's gone. But I think he does deserve some credit. I know he's not got us over the line, and I know there's been a lot of frustration with him and the way that he plays football. Too conservative, possibly. But I think the main fall down he's had is not, something that's especially designated to him. I think he's fell into a trap that every England manager that I can think of since I started watching national side has fell into the trap of, and that is just picking your best players and hoping that they can perform. Sometimes to get a better balance, you might have to put somebody in who maybe isn't such a big name, but it gives you a better balance overall. I mean, Alf Ramsey, Jamie Greaves has got a knock, play a game, Hurst's in, he keeps him in, and press at time then, 60 odd years ago. He's got to put Jimmy back in, he's a star man. But he didn't, because he thought, well, actually, for balance at side, I want an hard working side like that. Jeff Hurst's going to do that job for me. And he got pilloried for that until Jeff Hurst scored a hat-trick in final, and then suddenly he's a tactical genius. So you've got to ride out rough storms sometimes and make big decisions as managers, and that sometimes means you've got to leave your big players out. And like I said, he's not alone in that. They've all failed to do that. We can pull Southgate out, but Ericsson did it, Capello did it, Hodgson did it, Keegan did it. McLaren did it. Even Bobby Robson at times did it. You know, we all look back fondly with that 1990, and seem to forget largely that it was the players behind the scenes who were like trying to persuade him to go to that 3-5-2 that in the end did well for us. You know, so it's a trap they've all fell into. I was a bit surprised in the final that he changed that shape and went to a back four when the three at the back that we played in the semi-final against Holland, for me, especially for the first 50-60 minutes, was the best we played all tournament and the most balanced that we look all tournament. So I'm surprised with that. It also gave us control in midfield that we hadn't seen in any other game, and that it sort of gave us a forward in midfield. So, you know, Maino, Rice, Bellingham and Foden, that forward in there, we controlled midfield against Holland, and that's something I felt we had to do against Spain, especially with the midfield players. They got that trio in there, so I thought we might have done that again, rather than sticking Bellingham out to the left. But there we go. So he's gone, and I think he deserves credit for other things as well. It's easy to forget, I think, how poor we were when he took over and what disarray he was in the camp. I mean, that game against Iceland, I think that's the most dejected I've ever felt watching national side. And again, Hodgson, square pegs in round holes. Rooney in centre at park. We've got players out of position at left, which seems to be a theme that's gone back for the last 30 years. It was so dispiriting, you know. A country that's, you know, with a population the size of bloody Drumfield beating us, and we never looked like a team at all. Never looked like a team. And he came into that, and I think he did help put a reconnection back between the supporters and the team. Been a lot more available, and I know you can say it's sound bites and social media and playing to the crowd or whatever, but it works. He has built a connection back up. I've only got to look at the numbers. Kids are so queuing up to get in Bowsers the night before that game. 10 years ago, you weren't seeing that because people were like, fuck these wankers. You know, and especially when all stories are coming out at camps about players not talking to each other and club rivalries making a big difference. So I think he does deserve a massive amount of credit for that. And that was his remit, wasn't it, as well, to try and Team England, they call it. I think he's had a huge part in that, and I think he's, as much as he's not good as a back line, as much as some of the football I didn't like, and as much as he's fell into the same traps as Hodgson, Capello, Eriksen, whoever, I think he has put in foundation stones now for somebody else to come in and sort of really build on that. So I said, thanks for your hard work and good luck for the future. You know, I think he's done a good job in rebuilding a little bit of national pride. Okay, maybe too conservative on tactics, but that's just his personality. But all the other work he's done is fantastic. And whoever comes in now, and I don't know who that'd be, but whoever comes in now has got a fantastic group of players to work with. If you look at the average age of them, I think, you know, Maino's 19, you've got Foden, Bellingham, you know, none of them's anywhere near the peak of their careers yet. It's a fantastic group of young players for somebody to come in. And I think it is going to take a change of style. And I think if somebody does come in and change that style and get some playing on front foot, get some playing attacking football, I think they can take it to teams and cause them some big problems. And I'm not saying whoever comes in will win us something if they play that attacking style. Obviously, the more open you are, the more you're susceptible. Look at Man City. Battered Madrid, absolutely battered them and lost. You know, so just playing nice football doesn't get into you're going to win anything. But I think with the talent we've got on display, we're almost used to not winning out anyway. So with the talent on display, I think if we go out there and try and attack teams and have a go at it that way, then folks don't mind so much. If they see the teams having a go, I don't think they mind so much. So a frustrating end to tournament. But there's foundations here, and I think Southgate deserves credit for rebuilding Team England, as they call it, over the last 8 years, because the national team, make no bones about it, was absolutely on its arse when he took over. So fair play to him, good luck for the future, and we'll see who gets job for me and on him. I mean, I've seen Frank Lampard's medalist again. He makes all gaffers lists him. I don't know how. I don't know what that's been based on, but there we go. So anyway, my summer of relaxing, watching England is over, and I suppose I better see what's been happening at Hillsborough and see what I've missed there. What? What's he been doing? Better get kettle on.